Hello, welcome to Feasting on the Word for this week. It is October the 29th, 2025. Here we are once again picking up these ancient rhythms of our faith. And those rhythms were ones that sought to try to gain a better foothold into understanding the impact of God's inspired Word. What does the Bible, what does God's inspired Word mean and imply to our lives? And it's kind of hard to crack that code, particularly if we look at the Bible as something like a novel that we need to read through, as we miss what it really means, how it really impacts our lives. And so in the ancient church, they found this way that helped to begin to unlock some of those mysteries. And it was taking a small little piece of God's inspired Word and living with it. And they did that by reading it aloud and only having silence between reading the same passage multiple times. In its ancient form, it was called Lectio Divina. We have updated that, calling it Feasting on the Word, likened it to sort of the habit of eating and tasting, in the sense of we come to God's Word, and as we approach it the first time, we take a bite of it. As we come to it a second time, we begin to kind of chew on it. As we come to a third time, we savor its flavors. And a fourth time is like incorporating it, swallowing it into our lives, helping it to fuel our very beings. The other way that we update this practice is by using 4 different translations of the same passage, just to hear it a little fresh each time. So we begin with the New Revised Standard Version, then we migrate to the Message translation, then the Contemporary English, and we conclude with the New International Version. We have a minute of silence following the first reading, a minute following the second reading, a longer period of 3 minutes following the third reading, and then we conclude with that fourth and final reading. That longer period of silence is intended as an opportunity for us to turn to God in conversation, in prayer, taking this inspired Word that we have heard 3 times and had time to kind of think about, and lifting to God how this is impacting us, how it's inspiring us, encouraging us, confusing us, whatever it might be. As I've said many times, I like to have something to write with and something to write on nearby, so I can write down my impressions of the reading of that through the first 3, and then use that as the material for that conversation with God. So without further delay, let's get into Feasting on the Word for this week. Our passage comes to us from Paul's letter to the church in Galatia, so that's Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 through 6, first from the New Revised Standard Version. My brothers and sisters, if anyone is detected in a transgression, you who have received the Spirit should restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness. Take care that you yourselves are not tempted. Bear one another's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. For if those who are nothing think they are something, they deceive themselves. All must test their own work, then that work, rather than their neighbor's work, will become a cause for pride, for all must carry their own loads. Those who are taught the Word must share in all good things with their teacher. Our second reading of Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 through 6 from the Message. Live creatively, friends. If someone falls into sin, forgivingly restore him, saving your critical comments for yourself. You might be needing forgiveness before the day is out. Stoop down and reach out to those who are oppressed. Share their burdens and so complete Christ's law. If you think you're too good for that, you're badly deceived. Make a careful exploration of who you are and the work you have been given, and then sink yourself into that. Don't be impressed with yourself. Don't compare yourself with others. Each of you must take responsibility for doing the creative best you can with your own life. Be very sure now, you who have been trained to a self-sufficient maturity, that you enter into a generous common life with those who have trained you, sharing all the good things that you have and experience. Our third reading of Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 through 6, with our longer period of silence to follow. My friends, you are spiritual. So if someone is trapped in sin, you should gently lead that person back to the right path. But watch out and don't be tempted yourself. You obey the law of Christ when you offer each other a helping hand. If you think you are better than others when you really aren't, you are wrong. Do your own work well, and then you will have something to be proud of. But don't compare yourself with others. We each must carry our own load. Share every good thing you have with anyone who teaches you what God has said. Our fourth and final reading of Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 through 6 from the New International Version. Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you also may be tempted. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks they are something when they are not, they deceive themselves. Each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else, for each one should carry their own load. Nevertheless, the one who receives instruction in the word should share all good things with their instructor. This is the inspired word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.